Welcome to Your Story is Your Strength podcast, a podcast about how your story or journey through life, its events and activities, is your strength. Thank you for joining us today for episode 5, Embracing the Seasons. I'm Sarah Locke, your host, and today I'd like to talk about the changing of the seasons and how it affects us all in mind, body, and spirit. If you don't live in an area where you experience all 4 seasons, let me describe what those that do might go through. As the warm summer days slowly fade away, we find ourselves on the cusp of a new season. With the arrival of fall and winter, our bodies undergo fascinating changes to adapt to the shifting temperatures and the shorter days. In this episode, I want to explore how our body's response to the changing seasons actually happens and how it happens to me personally, and offer some tips to make the most of these transitional periods. For me personally, and having multiple sclerosis, the transition period takes a little longer and sometimes fluctuates throughout the season. It's important for all of us to keep the following things in mind. First up, and I think one of the most important and difficult for my body, is adjusting to the temperature changes. This season, the temps have been incredibly fluid, up and down and up, 80 one day, 50 the next, 70 one day, 20 the next. But as the temperatures drop and our bodies instinctively respond to conserving energy and maintaining a stable core temperature. One of the most noticeable adaptations is a process in which our blood vessels constrict to minimize heat loss. This can also result in cold hands and feet during the colder months. Do you experience this? I know I do. To combat this, I actually wear warmer clothes. I embrace cozy blankets, and I enjoy hot beverages like tea. I actually wrap my hands around the mug to warm my body. I find myself dressing in layers, including a base layer of smart wool and even fleece-lined pants. And I tend to drink hot water throughout the day to warm me from the inside out. My second tip is to learn the magic of melatonin and serotonin and your body's response. The transition from summer to fall introduces shorter days, which can affect our sleep patterns and our moods. Thanks, shorter days. The decrease in sunlight triggers the release of melatonin, the hormone responsible for regulating our sleep-wake cycle. You might not know what it's called, but in the winter, do you feel tired, more worn down? That's simply because there's less sunlight. Are we like Superman where we're supercharged by the sun? I think we might be, because man, am I happier with the longer days with a lot of sun. It takes a lot of work to get through the winter for our minds and our bodies. Consequently, we may find ourselves feeling a bit sleepier during these dark mornings and evenings, harder to wake up and easier to go to bed. On the bright side, our bodies are producing more serotonin during these months as well, where we're accommodating the shift in daylight. And don't forget to indulge in activities that boost your serotonin levels, such as exercise and spending time outdoors. It's hard to move during my workday, but I still try to get out for my before dinner walk. It might be dark, but I'm still moving and boosting my energy levels. It helps with the nighttime routine too, to wind down, to have a routine. The darkness starting so early could have me going to bed at the same time without adding any effort to keep moving. I want to go to bed at 6 p.m. Let's be honest. It's dark. It's time for bed. I could never live in Alaska. Another effect of the changing of the seasons for me is wanting to warm my body from the inside out. And that means an increase in cravings for comfort food. As the seasons change and our bodies often crave different foods, during colder months, our metabolism may actually increase slightly to generate that body heat we're losing, leading to the desire for heartier and warming meals. Our bodies are intuitive when it comes to nourishment, so it's essential to listen to them. Embrace the opportunity to explore seasonal produce like squash, root vegetables, hardy greens, which provide the nutrients needed to support our bodies through the changing seasons. My favorite cold weather meals, I have to say, is homemade chili, Instapot mac and cheese, and one of my absolute favorite is hearty roasted chicken breast with root vegetables and squash. It's like Thanksgiving. And the last point I want to promote is the continued importance of self-care. The transition between summer and fall can sometimes be emotionally challenging for many individuals. Recognize that it's perfectly normal to experience a mix of emotions during this time. Engaging in self-care activities can help alleviate stress and maintain emotional well-being. I always consider indulging in a warm bath, but they actually don't help me with MS. But I practice mindfulness. I try to read books and pursue a creative hobby to lift my spirits while I'm inside. Stay balanced throughout the season. And engage with your friends and those that can help lift your spirits. If you don't like getting outside in the cold, bring a few friends with you and make it a fun activity. Fall hiking is some of the best hiking for me. I dress in layers, bring a thermos of warm fluid beverage, and enjoy the changing colors all around me. I make it fun because laughing also can help warm you up and raise your endorphin levels. So let's get out there and have some fun this fall and winter. I didn't mention snowshoeing, but that's one of the best winter activities. The snow is lighter on your knees and less pressure on your body, and it makes it a wonderful time to get out there and hike. Be aware that our bodies process remarkable adaptations and our abilities to do this, allowing us to embrace and thrive in the ever-changing seasons. As we transition from summer to fall to winter, it's essential to be mindful of how our bodies respond to the changing temperatures, the shorter days, and the shifting moods. By understanding these responses and taking care of ourselves physically and emotionally, we can fully enjoy the unique and beautiful experiences each season brings. Embrace the magic of the changing season and let your body be your guide. Thank you for joining me today, and until next time, own your story, tell it well, and share it often.